Hello everyone, this is T. Cherie and I'm back with a new video. So I wanted to talk today about some things that have been floating around on the internet, and specifically the issue that I'm talking about today is cultural appropriation. Now, I'm I think I've been kind of clear in that I don't personally like talking about everything that people online make into a black issue. And the reason why is because I feel like there are things that actually are detrimental to us, such as intraracial violence or black on black violence, whichever one you call it, the education system, the prison industrial complex. There are things that are actually killing us. And I think the logical thing would be to put our energy and our mind state into those things that actually have the possibility of completely wiping us out as a people. But then there are things that we give more life to. And, I'm a believer that you can always chew gum and walk at the same time. If you want to talk about things like cultural appropriation and fight the prison system, okay. But realistically speaking, we have become what I would say a reactionary people. And so we kind of move on our emotions more than on our logic. And when you move more on your emotions than on your logic, you're going to not just react to certain things more so, but you're going to put your energy and your focus towards those things that really do not yield any positive result for you as a people. So the thing with cultural appropriation, I used to also be someone who felt serious about that issue, felt like it was a real issue. And then I had to start thinking more about why this thing bothered me. So for those of you that don't know what it is, the idea is basically that, the white dominant culture, the dominant society, has oftentimes taken things from different cultures that are minorities and taken those cultures and made it their own and basically pretended that black people or other cultures never invented that. Another way that people think of cultural appropriation is almost like white people putting on this mask of what is a representation of another culture. So you see a lot of people talk about the cultural appropriation around Halloween time, whenever people wear costumes that are essentially different cultures. For example, you might see someone dressed up as a Native American or the stereotype of a Native American with a feather on their head and beads and whatnot. You might also see someone around Halloween wearing a sombrero, which is supposed to be a representation of being Mexican. So that's another way people also take it. More often than not, when I see it talked about, it's usually our community, the African community on the internet. And specifically, I think there's the name that people say, Shea Butter Twitter. I don't, want to use that name in a derogatory way because I feel like there's different segments of Twitter that feel different ways about different things, and you should not necessarily paint them all one way because they're talking about something. But, if you were to categorize one group as having the most outrage about this type of issue, it would probably be the so-called Shea Butter Twitter, which is basically a name for a black feminist on Twitter. So, to me personally, just to talk about it a little more, we usually see this subject come up a lot of times with the Kardashians, and that's a family, of course, that we all know as being notorious for taking black culture and pretending that it is their own, trying to fit in with black people, trying to use black slang. The women tend to date black men, try to dress in black fashion, and which is understandable for us. It's annoying whenever you see these people who have really no connection to the black community put some hoop earrings in the style that we've been wearing since the 90s or the 80s, and all of a sudden you see a white publication say, oh, look at this is in style now because Khloe Kardashian wore these, and so therefore these are in style. Or where you see a Kardashian or any type of entertainer, Miley Cyrus is another one, Taylor Swift, get cornrows in their hair, and all of a sudden you see the white production company say, oh, this is a new, not production company, a white magazine say, oh, this is a new fashion, or this is something totally original from these people. So I understand the upset or the reaction that we get from this issue. But the thing that I would want for us to consider, not only does this issue not affect our health, safety, or well-being, but if we really believe in this issue and really put our energy into this issue, what are we saying about our own independence as far as how we view ourselves without the acceptance of white people? What I mean by that is most black people are okay with the fact that when you live inside of a society with different cultures, you're going to so often mesh your culture with different cultures. And so there's a lot of things in black culture that obviously originated in white culture. There's some things in black culture that are going to be inside of Hispanic culture, Latino culture. So we're kind of okay with that idea, but it's the idea that the white people could take this culture of ours and essentially say that it is their own, but not just say it is their own, but not give us credit for something that we actually originated. My question is, why do we care? Why do we care if the white person does not give us credit for something that we originated when we know that we are the ones that came up with this? We know that not only, first of all, in the subconscious of white people, they do know, even if they don't acknowledge it, they know most of these things come from us. They know that cornrows come from black people. They know that certain street styles come from black people and Latino people. It's just a given. You know that this did not come from European culture. So the question is, why does it stroke our ego? Why does it make us feel good if we're acknowledged for something from someone outside of the culture? And the answer to that is that in a lot of ways, even those of us who think that we're moving in a way that is progressive for black people, the truth is that we have a very house Negro syndrome, and that we still want approval from white people. So you want to feel like this person takes notice of you, this being your culture, and so you're bothered by the fact that they're not acknowledging you. But realistically, you really shouldn't care. You should honestly only care about you acknowledging yourself, about self-regard, about self-confidence. And so I think that this issue, honestly, is it's masked as being something for black liberation. But if your favorite political personality is hurt and bothered by the fact that a white magazine, a white fashion designer took something from black people and wants to say it's about them, but you know and your people know that you're the ones that created this, but you're going to put so much energy into proving to them that you're the one that started this, aren't you really giving them the power to determine how you feel about yourself? And that is the problem with cultural appropriation. We're giving too many other people power and control over our feelings. It should not be the case that anytime the Kardashians do something, that it's like a button that you push in the black community for everyone to get riled up and everyone to protest. If anything, we should be able to control our own emotions. We should be able to control our own reactions. But the fact is that I know the fact that if Kylie Jenner does something else idiotic, like she did, and it was really wrong what the Jenners did by posting pictures of black deceased rappers, of Biggie Smalls and Tupac, and putting their face on it. It was very disrespectful. I don't know who would have the mindset to do that to not just a legend, but someone who's deceased and can't, speak up for themselves in that type of way. It was very wrong to do that. But why is it that we give these people the button to upset us, and not just upset us, take our effort and our energy into trying to show them the right way, trying to show them what's wrong with what they did, where I really don't see that same effort going into issues of our community. And so I think I basically made my point, but the point is to say that I really become concerned with us as a people, how we're going to move going forward. Because the hard thing is, we live inside of what you call the social media era. And in a social media era, a lot of us are controlled by our emotions. That's why you always see every week, or, sometimes more than every week, you see someone apologizing for something because someone said something and it offended some segment of the society, and now everyone's apologizing. And it's not to say that those people should have said certain things they said, but it's to show you how hypersensitive we are becoming as a nation. The American nation has become hypersensitive, and so we have every incentive in us not to succumb to that same hypersensitivity and to give in to things and to react to things that really don't do anything to save us from dying, save us from being incarcerated, save us from losing so much traction that we have inside of finances and health and different areas of life that actually are detrimental to our tomorrow. And so, again, this is not to excuse people who do culturally appropriate, but it's to say that we should really pride ourselves on putting more energy into the things that are actually going to potentially kill us, potentially end us as a people.